This next one was sent to cornydrive-thru@gmail.com from Charlie in Starkville, Mississippi.
I knew it. You know, he's even got a line of T-shirts out now. I'm a Charlie in Starkville guy.
He sent me a few of these. I now have T-shirts from two different listeners. I have the original John Fell from Baltimore T-shirt, or John Fell in Baltimore, and now the Charlie from Starkville shirt.
I'm telling you, we make celebrities out of our audience. That's why it's so big. Everybody wants to be a star.
Here's Charlie's question. Speaking of making people stars, Chris Jericho recently took credit for making new stars in AEW. Jericho said, here's a quote, "You look at my first few programs. Match 3 in AEW was Darby Allin. Jungle Boy was right around that time. Then Jon Moxley, who had to be rehabbed when he first came from WWE.
Is that a proper choice of words?
Wow, you know, it didn't even hit me, but that is apparently what he said here. Then Jon Moxley, who had to be rehabbed when he first came from WWE. Because
and then he had to be rehabbed again after he'd spent some time in AEW.
Because Mox wasn't Mox when he first showed up. He was still Dean Ambrose, the goofy guy who wasn't funny doing all the stupid shit they made him do.
Wait a minute. Do you remember Moxley trying to do anything funny?
From the moment Moxley...
He's a goofy guy, I'll agree with that. But do you remember him trying to be funny?
As Dean Ambrose in WWE, sure.
No, I mean in AEW.
No, he's been a completely different guy and accepted by their fans from the beginning. I don't think he needed to be rehabbed at all. Am I wrong?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's saying, oh, remember I worked with this guy that's over now, and I worked with that guy that's over now, and I really had to help him out. They loved his ass, Moxley, when he first got there. If anybody has, we'll go ahead and finish the statement, but if anybody has survived working with Jericho, it's certainly not been accrued to their benefit.
That was really the end of the statement. Just Charlie wanted to know, what are your thoughts on Jericho taking credit for making new stars in AEW?
Oh, God. Again, Darby Allin they liked from the start because he was an indie darling, but if anybody made him a star, it was being teamed with Sting, and it was the incredible match that he had with MJF. Those two things have been responsible for him being probably more popular now, one of the few there in that company that's more over now than they were when they started. As far as Moxley, we just said, I don't know where he's getting that, because Moxley came out for bad or good. He came out doing the "I'm a badass that eats flesh and drinks blood" thing and the shoulder roll and all that stuff from the start. And who else did? Oh, Jungle Boy. Boy, he really made a star out of Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy's still in a tag team with a schlub goof as his partner, and has bad trampoline matches with the Hardy Boys clique, and has not broken out in any way on his own, despite several matches with guys who were trying to do that for him, because his booking has been inconsistent, mostly confined to the tag team. And we've come to find out now that he has little, if any, fucking personality. He sits around like he's fucking waiting for his goddamn clothes to dry at a laundromat, and he shies away from doing promos. So I don't know if I would have bragged about those three names. Maybe he did something for Pockets. He brought attention to Pockets. Not in a good way, but he brought attention to him.
And everyone universally accepts the MJF feud as being what it was, which was a complete waste of time and a waste of a year of this young guy's career.
No, well, okay, I thought you were going to say a waste of time. No, it wasn't a waste of time for Jericho. He got all the possible rub and oomph he could off MJF being hot and everybody being interested in him, and made him his subservient little lackey and then the guy that he whooped up on.
All right, well, that's Chris Jericho's comments on making new stars in AEW. And, you know, another place where...
You can't make new stars just in the ring also. They have to be booked that way. If you go in and have the greatest match since the Christians ate the lions in ancient Rome, and the guy that you have it with the next week ain't on television, nowhere to be found, and then he's getting beat by the mascot 2 weeks later on YouTube, You didn't make a star anyway. But go ahead, Brian, with where you were going with that.
Where I was going was just to say you can make stars on TV, but it's harder to make stars that you actually want to listen to. But when you find those stars, those musicians, those artists, you need the right way to listen to them covertly at times, but you need great earbuds.
You know, I was just going to let you twist in the wind until you have said anything approaching the product, and then I was going to take it from there. Folks, if you'd like to listen to, I don't know, Brian Last have a series of small strokes right in your ears, or whether you'd like to listen to our programs or some soothing music, or possibly if you'd like to listen to your own Windjammer tapes. As we all know, Windjammers are the agonizing screams of a trapped turd. Whatever you'd like to listen to, you can listen to them on the Raycon wireless earbuds, and nobody's even going to know. They don't have these sticks and stems and antennae. What's the plural of antennae? Antennae? You don't have all that stuff sticking out of them. They're wireless, and they're earbuds. They're not ear posts. They don't stick out like a fence post. The everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. That's because they're doing a lot of work on these things these days. They've revamped them, new paint job, the whole 9 yards. There's the awareness mode for when you need to listen to your surroundings, because they were getting some feedback from their customers that many of the customers were dying from being run over by oncoming trains that they did not notice because they were too busy listening to their latest Taylor Swift tune. So now with the awareness mode, you know before the train gets there when it's time to leave the tracks. Also, you can take these things wherever you go. They're very small. Brian, I'll have you know they're small enough to actually fit comfortably in a human adult's ear. That's not very big at all.
Of course,
Hotchkiss has a problem because his ears are different sizes. The one on the left is normal size. The one on the right has a hole in it about as big as my fist. But also, they're comfortable because they have the optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit, and they will not budge. Trust me on this. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, they will not fall out of your ears. You can be suplexed, drop-kicked, backdropped, Germaned, and pile-driven, and these things won't fall out of your ear. Well, at least until the blood starts flowing a little bit too forcefully, and then sometimes the blood flow will wash one or both of the Raycon earbuds out of your ear. But otherwise than that, you're fine. So you can wrestle with these things in your head. They offer 8 hours of playtime, a 32-hour battery life, and they are priced at just half the price of other premium audio brands that shall remain nameless because they should be ashamed of themselves. Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 48,000 five-star reviews. And one asshole who got one stuck one day, he just won't come up off those 5 stars. But anyway, right now, my listeners, and Brian's too, can get 15% off their Raycon order at buyraycon.com/JCE. That's BUYRAYCON, buyraycon.com/JCE to save 15% off everything on the site. Folks, you want to listen to music? You want to listen to the podcast? You don't want to listen to your nagging wife or your simpering children? Whatever the case may be, block out reality now. Listen to what you want to listen to. Only things that you agree with on Raycons. Right, Brian?
Well, you can listen to anything you want, so I guess only things you would agree with if that's what you want, yes.
That's what I said.